be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine. Just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can tell me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a man. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a man. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you roll. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you roll. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard. I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my chest in God. Put my chest in God. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Ride along. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Tuesday on the ride. As you're coming, guys, go ahead and share up the thing. Share up the thing. Share it on a page. Put it in a group. Whoa, Veronica, how you doing? Hey, Wendy C. McGuire, my always favorite person in the world. How you doing, Wendy? Hope you're doing great today. I got to pick up Wendy because Wendy is a MP. Wendy is a nurse and she take care of people. So that's why I have to salute people like Wendy, the first responders, man. Love you guys real bad. Guys, listen, today we have a show lined up for you, right? Very interesting program lined up for you. So that's why I want you to share. Big up to the folks over there at Unstoppable Live. How you guys doing over there? Ah, boy. Today, all you better put on all your... I think I will start first. I'll put on my seatbelt for this one. Because my next guest, I was sorting out for a while. Because I think the first time I saw her was on... Yeah, big up. It was on Unstoppable. My good brethren, Unstoppable. And her story really captivated me for a number of reasons. Now, you know what? I'm not going to preempt it. I'm not going to preempt her story. All right? I'm not going to preempt it. I'm just going to wait for you guys to listen to it and buckle up all your seatbelt because she definitely have a story to tell. So, let me share this one here, share this one here, share this one also over on share it over here. Veronica, you share? Thank you, Veronica. Grenada Benjamin, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lois JJ. Cindy Randall over there on YouTube. How you doing? Pick up yourself. And while we haven't really done a roll call, Cindy, Unstoppable, Cindy. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, all right. Unstoppable is loud. Unstoppable crew is loud in Ride Along today. Pick up all yourself. The Unstoppable crew. Veronica, to you as well. All right. All right. Enough of my talking. I'll save my talking for the end, right? I will save all my big ups and everything for the end. So help me introduce Trev. My good friend Trev. How are you doing, Trev?
I am wonderful, wonderful, Ridealong.
Yeah, yeah. I see your whole unstoppable family is here supporting you, giving you big thumbs up and
I
hailing.
always appreciate them. Thank you all so much, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trev, um, I know you was asking yourself why I sought you out so much, right? Why I had the need to postpone my show today to bring you on, why I was corresponding with you over the week and weeks and weeks and weeks and find out what day you're available. But it's for a specific reason because I think your story is so powerful and a lot of people could kind of learn from it, from everything. So I ain't wasting no more time. I want you to start with us, and I want you to start for as far back as you could, so we could go on with the story. Now, I may stop you from time to time to interject a little piece where I don't understand, but the platform is yours. I want you to tell us this story, Trev. My seatbelts are buckled. I'm ready for you. First of all, Trev, before you tell us that, tell us a little bit about Trev, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'm Jamaican. I'm from St. Anne. Um,
Okay,
I, I'm from St. Anne. I've been here in America for over 20 years, and I am just sort of stepping out of my shell, so to speak. I've always been sort of closed in and closeted, so to speak, never, put myself out there, never, laid all my vulnerabilities on the table for anybody to scrutinize until I had this particular experience. And even then, I was not feeling like I could present myself to the world without the judgments and all of that. I didn't feel like I could handle it. But after I spoke with Unstoppable, and he encouraged me, he said, Trev, don't limit yourself. Don't be worried about what people are gonna say, because they're always going to have something to say. So just come on out and just tell your story. Just tell it. Then I told it to him, and then he encouraged me to start the YouTube channel. And even after having started the YouTube channel, I still cannot find that place. It still bothers me sometimes. So from
right.
time to time, as time goes by, I'm getting a little stronger with telling the story and hearing the judgments and that sort of thing. And as I pen the story as well, I get emotional oftentimes, and then I have to say, Trev, you got to straighten up now, get out of that, and just do the thing, just do it, just do it. So I'm getting stronger and stronger by the day, so there isn't too much about Trev.
Okay. I sure we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn today.
Exactly.
We're gonna learn today. Hi, Trev. So tell us about this particular individual and where did it all started with you and this particular individual?
Okay, so we're going to start at uh, this last relationship.
Right,
I'm not going to start from when I first came here, because when I first came here, that's a story in of itself.
right, right,
But I'll start here. So after I'd been here for about 10, 12 years, I had gone through all the rough spots. You know how people come to America and they go through terrible, terribly rough spots. I'd
right.
gone through those terrible rough spots, and I had finally gotten my head up above water. I finally felt like I could breathe. I had become a citizen. I was, getting my children from Jamaica, and I just felt relieved. Like, finally I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I had gotten my nursing license, and I felt good at that point. I felt really good about myself and where my life was going. And then I had this friend from Jamaica. She and I went to college back home together, and she was my dear friend. I loved her dearly. And she called me and she asked me if she could come to spend the summer with me. And I didn't think, oh, I'd finally been by myself, lived by myself, and felt good, and I was all right with it. She came, she spent the summer with me, no problem. She went back home. About a year or so, about a year later, I was at home one night and she called me and she said, Trev, I have a problem, you can't help me. I said, what's the problem? What happened? Mark you, this was January. It was one of the coldest nights in Miami's history.
Right.
I was all wrapped up in bed. And she called me and she said, I have a problem. You can help me. What's the problem? And she said, my brother came up on a student program and he's going to Miami-Dade. He's having some problems. Do you think you can help me? What's the problem? She says, well, he's been calling me all evening since like 3 o'clock and he's now out in the cold and the family members who he's staying with didn't come to pick him up. He's cold. You don't know where he's at. You don't know which direction to go. So can you go help me? Me now being Miss Come to help us, I didn't give it a second thought. She was my friend. If she asked me to do anything, I wouldn't give it a second thought. So I got out of my bed and I even said to her, you are very lucky because this is the one night that I have off of work.
Right.
I was even thinking at the time that she knew my schedule. She knew that was the one night I had off of work. But at the time, 2020 hindsight, I didn't think of that then. So I got out of my bed and I went. She gave me his number. I called him. He said, I'm at the Walgreens across from Miami-Dade. You can come pick me up. I went over there, said, where do you live? And he told me where he lived. That's north of where we are. And I am going to travel back east to go back to where I live. So I said, okay, then I'll take you home. He says, oh, he doesn't have a key. I said, okay, so you don't have a key. You're calling them. They're not answering the phone. I said, I'm not going to stay out here in the cold with you. And that apartment complex you just told me, there's a security at the gate, I know. And if the security guard, if the person who owns the apartment does not answer, you are not allowed in.
Right.
So if they're not answering their phone, I'm not staying out here in the cold. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you to my house. I'm going to take you to my apartment. Keep calling them, give them my address, and they will come get you. I thought it was just fair. It's not a blue. I didn't know him. That was the first time I was meeting the guy. But based on my friendship with his sister, I did not have any fear that I was going to bring a stranger into my home. I
Right.
had no fear at all.
Right.
So I brought him home. I brought him home, fed him, everything, just being a good friend. I just took care of him. And I told him, well, keep calling them. I'm going to my bed, keep calling them. And when they answer, you can always just knock on my door. Just let me know that you're leaving. So when I woke up the next morning, he was still there. So I said, what happened? He said, well, he called them, they didn't answer. But around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they called him back and said they were in Orlando. Orlando, 4 hours away. And they know they dropped you at school and they didn't come back to get you. Didn't wonder where you are, what was happening. Anyway, I said, okay, I'll drop you back at school. Dropped him back at school. Thought my good deed was over, George. I thought my good deed was done.
Right.
All right. Coming from work one morning, and I got a phone call. And he says, Trev, you think you can help me? I have a lot of homework to do. Do you think I can come to your house and use your computer? So, well, what happened to the computer at your house? He says, well, there's a computer, but my cousin takes it with her wherever she goes. Okay. All right, I'm coming home from work, George. I'm going to sleep.
So at this point, Trev, you haven't identified any kind of red flags. You didn't seem like a weirdo. You didn't seem like anyone of concern. No red flags yet, right? Because I see a red flag already, but I just want to know if you saw any.
For me, there wasn't
Okay,
because for the mere fact that he was riding on his sister's chariot.
okay,
Because of the way I felt about her. She was my friend. And when I spoke to her and I spoke to her mother, to their mother, I, I these were people that these were people that you couldn't tell me anything bad about them.
right, okay,
I wasn't looking for any red flags. When I had called them the evening when I picked him up, and the mama was crying on the phone and saying the cousin was so unkind and wicked and cruel, and the sister was crying and said they can't believe the cousin would have done this to him. I was in agreement with them. Like,
okay.
yeah, the cousin is, of course, she's cruel for having done that. So when he asked me if he could come use the phone, the computer, I did not object. I said, okay, then fine. And there's one thing with me, George. If you say school, if you say upward mobility school and books and that sort of thing, you will get me real quick.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you fine. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I saw something that came up that said, oops, just
No,
now.
it's fine.
Okay. So if you say school, you say books, you say upward mobility, you are doing something with your life, I'm on your train. No questions asked. And I think she knew that. So that is where I see where the plot started. So anyway, I picked him up. I said, okay, I pick him up. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to sleep all day anyway. The computer is going to be there idle. So I picked him up, brought him on, put him on my computer, went to bed. About late in the evening, I go to work. I usually leave my house at around 6:15 to go to work. So about 4 or so, he knocked on my bedroom door and he said, if he could have the code to the apartment. Code? Why you need my code for? He says, oh, my cousin is downstairs. She wants to talk to me. I'm gonna go down and talk to her. Well, it's for something in the evening. It's time for you to go. So you don't need my code. If she's downstairs, you may as well go. And he said,
Uh,
well, he said, thinking quickly on his feet, he was like, oh, well, Trev, I have just a little bit of homework left to do, and it's due tomorrow. Do you think you could drop me home on your way to work? Mark you, to drop him home, I have to go like 100 and something blocks to the north and then drive back to go south to go to work. So it was really out of my way.
so, Trev, hold on 1 second. Slow down. 1 second. So, by that time, right, how long have you been in your house? Has it been days, week, month?
No, remember that was the day he asked me to come to use the
What?
computer.
Same day. All right.
Same
Gotcha.
day.
Uh-huh.
So I said, so he said, I'm coming back to do my home to finish my homework. You think you can drop me home? And despite the fact that he was so far away and all of that, I said, okay, but you're gonna have to do it quickly so that I have enough time to go and then go back and get to work on time.
Right.
So I said, okay. I gave him the code and he went down. Still didn't think anything. About 10 minutes later, I heard the door and I heard some banging, like something being dragged or something. So I busted the bedroom door. I stepped out into the hallway. He's coming in with 2 suitcases. I laugh about it now, George. I do laugh about it now because I do use my story now as just jokes all day for me. Because he
So
comes in.
he started to pull his stuff in.
He was coming in with 2 suitcases, correct?
All right. Let me for everyone that just came in, we're speaking to Trev. Right? If you just came in, Trev is just established that her friend, she was doing her friend brother a favor, right? So he came in. It was just a favor to have him use her computer because first she had to go pick him up. She picked him up, brought him back by his house. It was just a favor. He was supposed to use the computer, and she had no intention of anything than that. That's what it was. That's what it's supposed to be. He then asked her for her code to go downstairs to come back up. And when he finally came back up, he came back up with two suitcases. Right? That's what we are so far. So how did you react to that?
So I was shocked. So I said, what is this? Where are you going? What's going on here? And he dropped on his knees and he started bawling. And he started bawling. And he said, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Because my cousin told me she was coming downstairs to talk to me. She bring my two suitcases. She tell me she don't want me in her house no more. She got one child and she sent her child to Jamaica for her mother to raise. And she's not taking up nobody's responsibility. And he just started reeling off, telling me all these things. So I picked up the phone and I called my friend. I said, what is going on? And she's bawling. Her mother is bawling. So I said, what is going on? And everybody's bawling. So here I am around everybody bawling that the cousin is wicked. She is unkind. She is cruel. So I said to him, who signed the paperwork for you to come to America to say you were going to study? He said, she did. I said, well, she can't put you out. If she signed the paperwork to immigration to say you are going to stay with her, she can't just put you out. She
Right?
can't. So you need to call her and tell her to come get you. And I'm getting ready for work, and the mom is on the phone, and my friend is on the phone, and I shouldn't call her my friend anymore, but I say his sister is on the phone, and everybody is crying, and I am there like, well, what? All right. I say, all right, I can deal with this now. I'm going to work. So this is what you're gonna do. Um, make yourself comfortable. I'm going to work. We'll take care of this afterwards.
But
Because
what happened to a motel is down the street? How about a
that
hotel or something,
that
Trev?
didn't cross my mind, because I tell you, my friend is on the phone crying. Her mom is on the phone crying. He's right by my feet crying. I am heading to work. I was just thrown off track. My whole thinking just thrown off because
Okay,
suddenly this is brought on. But anyway, it is what it is.
okay.
So I went off to work. Okay. Came back the next day. We got to talk about this because I did not, I was not expecting this. I was not prepared for this. I did not send for you because I have my children. I have my own responsibilities. I'm just getting my head up from underwater. I cannot take care of anybody's responsibilities. So, I mean, you can't stay here. You
Okay.
can't. You can't. So, anyway, he says, okay. Their sister says, okay. Give him a chance. We're going to try to see if we find some place for him to go. We're going to try to find this. We're going to try. Okay, fine. The days went by. He's still at my house. He's still going to school. The days went by. Still the same. They keep saying they call this person, they call this extended family member, they call this person, and everybody and nobody is willing to take him in, and nobody is willing to help him. And everybody is crying at this point. Like every time I talk to her, they're crying and they're upset, and and when I said I was going to call the cousin, and they were like, but I knew the cousin because she went to college with us too. So I knew her, and I knew her to be somebody who is very, very brash. So he was like, oh no, don't call her. you know, she's probably gonna cuss you out, but cuss me out for what? Cuss me out for what? Like, you know, so I just left it alone. They said they will take care of it. So I left it alone.
Right.
Anyway, the days would pass, the weeks. I think he had 2 weeks of grace period. Then he says to me one day, he says, Trev, you know, since I am here and this, you know, with immigration, you have to change your address. You have to update your address at school to say where you're at.
Oh, oh,
George,
no,
now
Trev.
I can laugh. At the time, George, I was not seeing anything. That is the thing, George. I was not seeing anything. I was
What
just
did you do? What did you have him use your address?
no, the thing is, by now he had been at my house now for a minute. So this is the stunt that he pulls. He says, since I am here, you know, with immigration, you have to update your address. And since I am not at my cousin's anymore, can I use your address? You know, school might be sending paperwork, that sort of thing. I did not see it as an issue. I said, okay, until he gets himself together. I'm still not paying any attention. I'm still just going blindly. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. You can use my address.
Trev, you realize so far you was okay fine to everything, right? You're okay fine to everything. I just keeping tabs on you. I
Yes.
keep tabs on you. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So he says, okay, so you got to come to the school and you mind coming to the school and sign the paperwork for me. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. So yeah, yeah, the yes girl. I tell myself, yeah, you were the yes girl. So I went over there to the school, and as we're standing there in the line to go up, nothing, neither of us is saying anything to the other. We're just standing there. So when we reached up there, the lady said to him, now, are you prepared to pay your tuition? It ain't got nothing to do with me, so I don't pay any attention.
Right.
So I don't know what he said to the lady, but the lady asked him to step aside. So he stepped aside, and I'm already standing off to the side because the rest of it doesn't concern me. So
Okay.
he steps to the side and he says to me, Trev, I got a favor to ask you. What happened? He says, you know, my grandfather in England was supposed to send me the money to pay my school fee. And this particular person in Jamaica, I'm not going to call her name, this particular person in Jamaica who owns a funeral home, this person is sending me the money as well, some money as well to pay my school fee. But the money isn't here yet. And they're telling me that today is the end of my grace period. So I have to pay today or else I can't come back to school. Okay. Well, what does that have to do with me? He said, well, my grandfather is going to send the money from England. Now, mark you, George. When I was in college with his sister, I was always aware that bills were being paid by this grandfather. She was never short of anything because she'd always say she would always pick up the phone and call grandfather and she would always get whatever. So
Right.
in my mind, of course, grandfather is always supportive financially. So of course, yes, if you say grandfather is going to send the money, I'm going to believe, yes, grandfather is going to send the money.
What did you do?
So I'm not ashamed of it anymore, George. Stop reading me like
No, I'm keeping tabs on you, Trev. I'm keeping tabs on what
you
did
can
you
tell.
do? What
Oh,
happened?
Jesus, George. So, so I said, you know, how much is the school fee? You know, at international rate, and when you come up as a student, you have to take full classes for the 2 big semesters. Now, this was the spring semester. So he was doing 14 credits, I believe. So the school fee was $4,700. and he pulled out of his pocket $1,000, and he says, I have $1,000, and my grandfather is going to send the rest of the money. Guys, please don't kill me. Don't. Oh
So you reach in your pocket.
my God. So, George, I reached in my pocketbook and I took out my credit card. Oh my God, George. I laugh about it now, guys, because some of you on here have seen me cry about this, and I'm not crying anymore. I laugh now because I can see, I think
Right.
if I continue to cry, the Lord is going to whip me and say, Trev, I have blessed you so much. Quit crying about this. So anyway, I took out my credit card, and yes, I put the $3,700 on my credit card.
Let me ask you a question. At that point, being around this fella for so long, did you start to fall for him? Feel got admiration for him at
No,
that
no,
point?
no, not then. No.
So are you like that with with everybody that you meet?
No, I'm not. I am a giver, because even now my kids even say, if they're gonna give me something, I say, Mommy, I'm giving it to you, and please don't give it away. My kids will say that,
Okay.
because I certainly do have an open hand.
No, I understand. I'm the
Yeah,
same. But people take advantage of you sometime when you're so.
right. I was brought up to share, to give, to, you know, look out for others. And it seems like I took it a little too far.
Yeah, but you have to know, Trev, when people taking advantage of you. Listen, I don't want to cut your story anymore. I don't want to cut you short. So go ahead. So you
I'm
reach out
here.
your pocket
Yes.
and you paid almost half
More than half. It
of
was, it was,
3,700. You almost paid the whole
30.
thing. You almost paid the whole thing, Trev.
Yes, I did. I almost did. I paid $3,700 on my credit card. And then, all right. So I called his sister, and I said, this is what has transpired and stuff. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Grandfather gonna send the money. That's a lot of money. I'm calculating it here, but don't worry about it. Grandfather is going to send the money. And then he gave me the paperwork from the people who own the funeral home in Jamaica that were supposedly sponsoring him, that they were going to pay the school fee. So in my heart, I felt, all right, all right, they're going to pay.
Okay.
It's going to be paid. Lord Trev, don't be so hard. It's going to be paid. Don't worry about it.
Right.
So I took that paperwork from him, and I took the words of his sister.
Okay. I could
All right, so
understand.
school
I'm
fees
not
paid.
mad at you.
School fees paid.
I'm just listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. So school fees paid at this point. I mean, he got a roof over his head. He's eating. He's there. Month went by. 2 months went by. Around the third month, he started to, I would notice, like, it's almost like he started started at first to romance my ego. So he would start to, say, you are the best thing ever happened to me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I knew you were a good person because my sister always talked about you. And from the time when you were in college, she brought a picture of you home, and I was the da da da. And all of that. And when I went to work at night, when I came home in the morning, there would breakfast ready, and it just
Well, by that time, he's in your
and it
house.
just went on from there.
By that time, Trev, he's in your house.
Yeah.
He found a nice place to live, and you taking care of him. The only thing left is to get into your heart.
Yes.
So he
And
started to romance you.
I did not realize that that's what he was working on.
What you thought he
So
was doing? What you thought?
uh,
What you like? What you thought he was doing?
I just thought he was just making himself useful. I just, you're living there, you ain't paying any bills. I
You might
thought he
you might as well kick some nice lyrics. Oh, you look beautiful today. I like.
Well,
You look so
that-
pretty today.
no, I laugh about it. That was the only thing. That was the only thing left. So I fell for the okie dokie, as they say. So I fell for the okie dokie, and there were a lot of concerns I had. I expressed a lot of concerns when he started going down that road. I had lots and lots of concerns. But I could never come up with a concern with which he would agree. Because I talked about me being, what, 7, 8 years older than him, and he would cry and say, like, Trev, come on. Why are you beating yourself up? That you are 8 years older than me. You could have even been 20 years older than me. I have never felt this way about anybody. And, it would I would express concerns. I would say, you know what? I already have 4 kids. Like, I'm taking care of myself. I'm on my own. I don't need somebody that I'm going to take care of. And he was like, Trev, why are you beating up yourself? You are beautiful. It doesn't matter you have them kids. My mama had 5 and she got married and she got 3 more and she's been married for all these years. Why are you beating up yourself like that? You are never going to find anybody if you keep coming up with all these excuses about. It's as if you're telling yourself you're not good enough. And those, I tell you, George, long story short, it worked. Yes, short and spicy. I really thought he was just being appreciative and appreciating the fact that I was there for him when his entire family had put him on the street. That's what I thought.
Did you
Little
did,
did I
did you
know.
did you fell for the approach?
Eventually, eventually, I don't know if I fell for it or fell into it, but
Explain fall into it. Explain the difference.
because if the trap is set for you,
Right.
you're going to fall into it.
Aha.
If you are in agreement with all of what is going on, you're going to fall for it.
Well, to me, it seemed like you fell for it.
I think I fell into it.
Okay. You was acceptive to everything that
Right.
was
I did
so
not
far.
put my feet down strong enough.
Right.
And because of the way I felt about the mom and the sister, and I'm not somebody who like to ruffle feathers, and I'm not the one who's going to get mad at you, and that's not me. You
Right.
understand? There are other people who would have said, I would have put him out, I would have done that. I'm not going to take on the energy of anybody who would say they would do that because that is not me.
Okay. And
Right.
nobody could be mad at your decision.
Right.
So I want you to start back from where he started to romance you. He started to, whisper these sweet little nothings in your ear, and you fell into it, as you said. What happened after that?
So after that, after I protested and protested, he said, well, Trev, it seems like you have, like, I have some kind of trauma, when I'm not loosening up and that sort of thing. So he wants us to go to counseling. So, Trev, you have to go to counseling because you have to get rid of all this trauma because you are not loosening up. You are not. I tell you, guys, I tell you, be careful. Do not let what happened to me happen to you because these people are out there in numbers. And so I said, all right, we go to counseling. We go
Consent
to
for what?
I've already fallen into the trap. So if he's talking about all this love and he want to be with me and all of that, but I have to get some counseling because it seems like, Trev, you have this barrier up. So you need to get counseling to get this barrier down, because there's no way we're going to have a good relationship if you have all these barriers.
Okay.
So I went to the counseling. We went to the counseling. I was just George, don't laugh.
Hold on, Trev. Hold on. Don't go further. Don't go further. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Trev. Don't say another word. Don't say another word. Hold on. Guys, video Ridealong live. We'll be right back, guys. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Get your PCR test in 30 minutes or less. Visit www.allprolab.com.
All right. That was real quick. I had to take that breather. Woo! Trev, you win.
I tell you.
You win. You're on your road to victory.
I'm crazy. That was a crazy times.
Trev, that's the same guy that came in your house as a guest, that pulled his suitcase in and you was like, what the hell? That's romancing you now. That's the same guy that's whistling all the sweet nothings in your ear, and that's the same you in counseling now?
Imagine that.
Okay, go ahead.
So he did everything to convince me that, I had too many barriers up and I wasn't going to, be able to find some of them that wasn't going to be able to share myself with anybody because I had too many barriers and trauma and whatever the case may be. And, because I was saying to him that this is not something that I wanted to do. And he was in a hurry talking marriage and all of that. And I was like, marriage? I don't think so, because, different things that had happened in the past and stuff like that. And I'm like, you understand that if I marry you, you have too much to gain out of this. And I really have nothing, because you are coming into this with nothing. So if I marry you, I'm going to have to give you a green card. And you're going to school. You don't have anything to bring to my life. You have nothing to bring to the relationship, really. So you understand that if I marry you, you are going to be on the winning end. The only thing that's going to save me is if you are grateful and if you mean all that you're saying and that sort of thing. So it was like, of course, Trev, why would I not mean it? Do you think anybody else was going to take me to their house and was going to do all of this for me? And he would just go on and on and on and on and on. Okay. So, of course, yes, we went to counseling. Why not? Can't hurt. Went to the counseling. Counseling is over. Went to counseling for 6 weeks, 8 weeks around. Wow. And all this time, he's still talking about the married. He wants to marry me, and and God is so good, and it's almost like serendipity. God is so good. He can't believe it. He never imagined in his life that he and I would be together, and just all of it. And so I just said, something, it's win or lose. It's sink, float, or drown, whichever the case is. And I just threw it up. I just threw it up, and I just said, you know what? God, just take it. All right. I'll just I'll just take it as it is. And I will just work with you, and we will see what happens.
So you just throw it up, right flag, and you got married to him.
Because here I am, I'm trying to put up my barriers, and here's this person trying to break them down at every corner I turn, and he's, throwing all of these love bombs, and he's, taking me saying go to the pastor, and the pastor is talking, and and he's talking about all my, you are this trauma, your trauma from before. You need to get rid of that trauma so you can move on, so you can embrace this love that I have for you. And I was just like, well, what if he's being truthful? What if he's being honest? What if? And then I would have passed up this opportunity because maybe I do have these barriers. So I just said, you know what? Let me just throw it up and
What does throw it
just
mean? What does throw
leave it in God's hand.
what
Yes,
does throw it
George.
mean?
Hi,
Explain.
Miss
What
D.
does
How are you doing, my love? How are you doing?
what does throw it? Hey, dear Winterford, our mutual friend. What does throw it up mean?
I mean,
Tell me.
everybody here was had an experience like mine or similar to mine, or has been in a relationship in which you were hesitant about going into the relationship, and you expressed that to your partner, and your partner insisted, the potential partner insisted on getting into the relationship. After a point, you are broken down where you are like, you know what, maybe he's right, maybe he's being honest, maybe I do have barriers, maybe, and you just start doubting yourself, and it just wears you down. And you just say, okay, I'm going to go into this relationship, sink, float, or drown. I'm just going to go in it because it can't be that bad. And I must tell you this, with me, before then, I was never worried about losing a partner.
Mm-hmm.
I was always of the mentality that men will come and men will go. You cannot hold somebody who does not want to stay.
Right.
So if you come and we are on good terms, and are we are on good terms and the relationship is going well, but you want to leave, I am not that woman who is going to break your phone and act
Right.
crazy and you gotta stay with me and you gotta, no.
But hold on, Trev,
Free, you are grown, you
we,
wanna go,
we
G,
jump
go.
over a very important part. I want you to clarify for me.
What part?
Did you marry the guy?
But that's where we're going.
Okay. Ah. Oh, so
That's where we're going.
Trev,
So that's why we're at the counselor.
so you,
Yeah, that's why we're at the counselor. So I could to break down my barriers so we could move forward. So when I say I just sink, drown, or float, I just threw it all up and said, you know what? Uh, uh, I just went on. Yes. So I laid out all the things on the table. This is what's gonna happen. Yes, Cindy, we are unstoppable. Yeah. So I did that. And I married the guy. I did. And honestly speaking, I would not have regretted it
right.
had it not turned out the way it did. I would not have. I would have seen it just as well. I married him. It didn't work out so well. So what? But it is what happened in there that
Lydia James is saying that he wasn't your partner in the first place. He was your guest. He saw you as vulnerable and he played on that.
as simple as that. As simple as that, Lydia. That is the honest truth. That's the honest truth. And I think it was something that was prearranged before he got there. I
Mm,
think it was something that was prearranged. It was something that they had discussed. Because you see, the sister knew I was by myself. She knew, because I sat down and gone over everything, and I realized now she knew my schedule. Remember, she had come to my house and spent the summer with me, And I
Right.
had been in America at that time 12 years. She had never come before and never after.
But nobody told you that you had to be receptive to it. You could have well said from the beginning, from the onset, and that's just me. I mean, you made the decision, but you could have said from the onset, listen, you can't stay here. When you saw he pulling up his suitcases into your, you'd be like, what? Yeah, that's not gonna work. You can't stay here. I mean, you can't. And if you said it strong enough, he would have had to take it back down the stairs. She didn't
Yeah.
ask you to be receptive and to take him in and to
Right.
put him on your couch. And she certainly didn't ask to fall in love with him or marry
She
him.
asked me to have him stay there. So, you, I mean, it's all complicated because
Right,
right now I just looking back at it, I can say, wow, Trev, you really got played, girl. But before that, I was not seeing it as me getting played. You have to understand. I
right,
was seeing it as me helping my friend. And they had a level of credibility because of how I felt about her and the mother. And you see what I mean? If it was somebody that I didn't know, somebody who hadn't had access to my house, because you have to be this close to me to have
right,
access to my house. For
right.
me to leave and go to work and trust you, to sleep in my bed, to stay in my house by yourself, I have to love you and I have to trust you. And she had that privilege.
Yeah.
So she knew exactly what she was doing. So it was prearranged.
So let's go to the point where so you guys are married now. Now the whole thing changed now. The whole thing
Right. So the whole arrangement has changed.
yeah, the whole arrangement changed because now, I mean, Trev, you guys are married now. Your guest is now your husband.
No, Trev just lost her mind.
Well, I didn't want to say it like that, Trev, you
But it's
know?
the truth. It's the truth. What are you gonna do about the truth? It's the truth. It's the truth.
So he's there now as your husband. How was the relationship? Did the relationship change? Well, of course it did, because he's no
Of
longer your
course,
guest.
yes, George. Of
He's no longer your guest.
course. Of course, yes, it changed. Um, it changed because after I married him, I had to petition for him to get the green card. So married him, sent in for the paperwork from the state, the license, sent in the license, got the license back, one, two, three, sent off immigration paperwork, said, you know what, if I'm in it, I'm in it. There's no reason for me to be in it and be dragging my feet. I'm in it. I'm in it already. So may as well just do what I gotta do. I know I have to fight for him. I know he don't have two pennies to rub together. So I'm not going to be fussing about it and quarreling about it. It's not going to take me anywhere. I've already made the biggest decision to go into it. So I'm in it.
Right.
So I petitioned for him, got his green card. So now he hasn't struggled in America, and I have struggled like heck. So
He
he
just
hasn't
fast
struggled.
track. He got the
Yes, he went on the express lane.
express lane.
On the express lane.
That's you.
Yes,
You drive the
he's
express
going
lane. Take you there in no time.
he's going
That's
to school. He has a roof over his head. He ain't paying no bills. Then he got a green card. He's living the life. All
compliments you.
right.
Compliments you.
Exactly. Compliment of Express Trev. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. So after that, I started noticing, I started noticing all the changes. There's not all this romancing and stuff. And everything's starting to change. But I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention. I am looking, I am seeing, but there's a difference between looking and seeing and paying attention. You stand up in the front of a classroom of 20 children and they are looking at you, but they're not paying attention. They're
Right.
just looking at you, so you don't call them out for not, doing what they're supposed to do in class.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but they're just looking at you, but
Yeah.
their hands under the table doing something different. So that was me. I'm looking, but I'm not paying attention. It is so funny. Now it is funny. So he continued to go to school. I'm gonna cut long story short. He continued going to school. So I said, all right, now that I've petitioned for you, you no longer have to go to you no longer have to be an international student. So you can now go to you can now go and get the resident deal rather than the international deal, because the international deal is quite expensive.
Yes.
So they said, oh, he has to be here for a year before he can get the reduced rate. So I said, all right, then, this is what we're going to do then. You are going to go to the Lindsay. I said, all right, you will go to the Lindsay. Those of you from Miami, Lindsay Hopkins. I said, all right, you will go to Lindsay Hopkins and do the LPN rather than staying at Miami-Dade. That's going to be so expensive. So he agreed. So, yeah, express Trev right on down to the Lindsay, registered him to the Lindsay. He started to do the LPN course. He got a job at Domino's. He's delivering pizza. All right. By this time, I petitioned for my children. So my children are waiting on their papers to come from Jamaica.
Right.
So my children came in October of that year. My children came, and once the children came, it's almost like I thought he was changing before, but now it's a chameleon right here.
Pause right there. Stick a pin right there. Guys, I want to open the phone line right at this point right here. There's a lot more, but I want to get some inputs. I want to get some calls. I want to hear some voices. But you guys are calling right now. This is the phone line 718-701-5.
Please don't cuss me. I can't take it.
Nobody.
I know a lot of people get emotional and they will want to curse. Please don't curse me.
I don't worry about it. I control the phone lines here. Nobody's gonna curse. We're not gonna disrespect Trev. This is our experience, and she's sharing her story. And this is not a cut-out session. But we want you guys to call in and tell us what you think about this story thus far. Trev have taken this guy from a guest when he came into her house to now she married the dude and she filed for the guy. He has his green card now. And things start to change. And you could imagine what go on after that. But I want you guys to call in. 718-701-5720. Remember when you call to mute your background device so you don't create an echo. But I want to get your voices on this. 718-701-5720. It's important because somebody just texted me there and they said something similar happened to them. So Trev, you're not alone.
That I know.
You're not alone in this saga here. Someone just sent me and said something similar happened to them, and they could understand your story. But we got a call coming in. Let's take this call right now. Oh, that the person hung up. All right, caller. If you was calling, call us back. 718-701-5720. And I'm gonna have Trev continue her story, but I want to get some voices on it. 718-701-5720. You could call direct. Or if you want, you could call on WhatsApp. But anyway, I want you guys to call in. Caller, if you just called, your phone line got disconnected, but we want to hear your voice on this. 718-701-5720. If you guys don't have any comments, if you guys have no calls, we're going to move right on with the story. All right? Let me see. All right? Okay. All right. Let's move on. They're going to call when they're ready. All right. So things. Hold on. Don't go. Let me take this one. Let me take this one. Caller, you live. Where you calling us from?
I am calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead, Brooklyn.
Alright. Can I understand the situation? You know, some of the times we do try for persons or should I say our sympathy on persons and they take us for granted. But guess what?
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
So guess what? At the end of the day, I think this young man is going to need you. Despite what he has done to you, he's going to need you. Trust me. And you have done your best. You have done your best. And a lot of persons going to bash you because they are red flag. You see the red flags, but you intend to ignore the red flags. But guess what? You are blessed, my dear. I won't bash you. Nobody's perfect. Not that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you have these kind of persons out there to manipulate people and use people. So guess what? You're going to learn from your mistake. Never again will happen to you. Alright?
Thank you.
This is good Parker.
Thank you so much, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much. Let's go on the WhatsApp call. Caller, you live on the WhatsApp. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go right ahead, caller.
Hi, Trev.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you, dear?
Yeah, go ahead. She said hi.
You can hear me?
No, she could hear you, but you can't hear. So go ahead.
I just want to ask one question.
Uh-huh.
Trev, how was the cucumber?
That's a good one. Oh my
Well, that's the only question you want to ask. Right, caller, listen to answer on the line.
God.
Trev, you bring out the best and the worst.
That's all right. That's all right. That's okay.
Go ahead. She want to know.
All right. So anyway, so he's going to school. He's going to the Lindsay. He's doing the LPN. My children came. I am bearing the brunt of everything. Remember, it's just me now. So
Trev, hold on, Trev. Don't continue yet. You have to, two things. You will answer the caller yet, and we have another caller on the line. So we're gonna take this call, you answer the caller, and then we go. Then we will continue with the story. Caller, go right ahead.
come on, tell that caller to behave.
Caller on the live. Go right ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go right ahead, caller. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Canada.
Yeah, hi, Canada. Go right ahead.
Yes, this lady has a beautiful smile and she has a best sense of humor. He is going to go down. He will go down. She has a great smile, a lot of pain underneath that smile. A lot of pain. She's hiding it and she hid it well. But keep smiling, sweetheart. Keep smiling. Peace and love.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
I'm Trevor calling from Brooklyn.
Yes.
Honestly, the same thing, unfortunately. But for a guy, it's a whole lot worse. Never been in trouble with the law.
Hold on, do me a favor. I'm hearing you kind of echo a little bit. If you're on speaker, take me off a speaker and just go straight. Hold me straight to the phone, so I can hear you better.
No, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, go right ahead.
No, I said like never had any problems with the law before. Married my wife, and all of a sudden, something called VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act. I'm America's #1 villain. I called the police. They can't do anything for me because I heard what you was talking about setting me up. I called the courts. They can't do anything for me. I called. They told me to call a hotline for order protection. Called them.
Hold on, caller. I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Basically, I went through the whole entire thing of meeting someone, getting married to them, and they wound up using me for immigration papers.
Okay. All right. is there a question? Because I'm not hearing you too clear, and I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying.
I just basically want to find out how she got through it at the end because I'm still
Oh,
going through
okay.
it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get on there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Trev.
Yeah.
How was the cucumber?
Can we just move off of that?
Okay. Trev want to move off of it. Let's move off of it then.
Yeah, I got off of that, so we can.
All right. Okay. All right, Trev. We're not going to talk about the cucumber then.
No.
So go ahead, Trev.
So anyway. So the kids came. Kids went to school. I have now the burden has increased on me because now I have the 3 kids come up from Jamaica, and then him. I have the 2 that has to go to middle school, one to middle school and the other one to high school, and the older one had to I just graduated high school, so she needed to go to college. And so I decided, all right, so my daughter has to go to school as well. So I enrolled my daughter in the Lindsay as well. So now I have 2 people going to the Lindsay, all out of pocket now.
Wow.
2 people do it, 2 of them in nursing school, all out of pocket. And then I have the others. And then around that same time, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. So I had to bring her up from Jamaica because I wanted her to get treatment here. So
right.
the burdens on this one back. And so I was, all right, yeah, pull up my big girl britches and I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to take care of everybody. So I took care of it. As time went on, I'm hoping, I want him to be my backbone, my partner, the person who we can sit down and make decisions together and, execute it and that sort of thing. And he's sort of absent-minded.
Well, let me ask you a question, Trev. Did anything from the time you met this guy, did anything indicate to you that he's a person that could be what you just explained to us?
Yes. And whenever I would, express my fears, it would go back to the beginning. And so I say it's the same thing why we had to go to the counselor, because you have these barriers and you are, worried about this and you worried about, just let everything be, Trev. You worry too much. And he would just make me always feel like, oh, it's my fault for asking a question. It's my fault for questioning your behavior. It's my fault. Okay, I should just leave it alone and not worry about it, because if I ask a question about your behavior, I am causing a problem. And my nature is not to cause problems.
Right.
My nature is to solve problems. So
right. No, you
I
solve
don't want
not
to
a
be
problem.
the one.
You solve all the problems.
All the problems.
Every
problem.
problem.
Solve the problem. Yes. And I didn't want to be irritating and be saying the same thing if he's I see everything that's going on, George. I see it. But most of it I keep inside, because if I say anything, we're going to go back to square one, because he's going to use the same strategy. I've had relationships before. I've never had anybody manipulate me like that. I've always had people with whom I could sit and have a conversation and say, this is what is happening, this is what is happening, XYZ, end of story. But this time I was just being manipulated all over.
Cassandra,
if I ask my money back, when I ask for the money, how come grandfather ain't send the money yet? Where the money there? Where is the money? He started a piece of bawling, and he said how his grandfather is this and that, and all of a sudden, everybody in his circle has become unkind, wicked, and cruel to him. And I'm the angel. I'm the angel.
But
And
let me ask you, let me
well,
ask you a question. Um, you are the wife now. He's the husband now. What money you talking about?
exactly. Exactly, George. Exactly. That was his exact attitude. Said,
Oh boy.
grandfather, I'm now his wife, and all of them mad, Trev, all of them mad because I'm married to you, but then can go about them business because when me the day I mean have nowhere to go, and you take me in, and you do this to me, and when all of them turn them back on me, now you see, I'm the angel. So he would, be cursing everybody else. Everybody else is a devil. Everybody else is wicked. Everybody else promised him this and promised him that, and nobody would, they didn't fulfill their promises, and they didn't do this, and everybody did him this, and everybody did him that, and you are the one woman, you are the one person who. And I was just like, oh, Lord, falling for the hokey dokey.
So let's move a little bit ahead, right?
No,
Now,
Edward, my born, I'm gonna live. Every day for me is April 1st. How about that?
no, no. No, funny enough. I could see, because you see, when you in a situation, sometimes you don't see it as someone looking out. Someone could always look and say why you should have done this or you should have done this, and try to analyze your situation. But sometimes when you're in it, you don't see what is happening because you're living in the real life moment. You're living in the time. You're living in real time. So I could see how this could happen to you, because you seem like a really sweet, genuinely nice person. The funny thing about that you have to remember that people know when you're kind hearted like that, and they know how
Yes,
to psychologically evaluate you and take advantage of
yes,
you. So
yes.
you are a victim. You
That's
were taken
exactly
advantage
what
of.
they did. Yes,
You obviously was taken because they know that you have a soft heart, and they will
yes,
continue to milk you like a cow.
yes, yes,
I want to
yes.
move in a little bit to after he got his green card. What else drastically changed about this fella? After now we have everything under the moon, the stars, and the sun, including a green card. What happened?
So he got everything, and then all in a sudden he said he wanted to join the military. So I said, the military, I see the military as abandonment. So now you get your green card. Now you want to join the military. To me, that indicates that you want to leave the marriage. So if you want to leave the marriage, you are free. You can go file for the divorce, you can leave. And he was like, Trev, why you would have said such a thing? And he cried and he cried. Why you would have said such a thing, Trev? I would have never leave you in a Trev. Oh, what you do for me? How you? So I said, well, that's to me what the military, indicates. When you're leaving, you're going to be gone for extended periods of time, and you're leaving your family behind. And he cried and he cried and he cried and he said, oh, he just needed me to sign the paper for him to go to the military. Um, all right, we talked about it and he cried about it. And I eventually said, you know what? If you want to join the military, who am I to stop you? So I signed the paperwork and he left. He went for the military. So after he had gone for the military, he called back when he was getting his first deployment. His first deployment was sending him to Korea.
Right.
So,
So now he joined the military too. That fast track him to citizenship.
and I didn't know that then. I did not know that then, but I learned that afterwards.
I
Yes.
learned from Dion Winter Funday.
Yes. So that's what that was. Him making sure I agree that he joined the military meant that he did not have to stay with me to get the citizenship. The military would give him the citizenship, and that would allow him to just leave the marriage quicker. But I didn't know it then. So, so he joined the military. So he got his assignment to go to Korea, and he bawled. He said, "Oh, I'm going there. I'm going by myself," and all of that. No problem. I don't have a problem. I got my mom to worry about. I got my kids to worry about. I'm not worried that you're going. It's okay. So he went to Korea. After he was there for a few weeks, he called me back and he was like, "Oh, Trev, I can't do without you. I can't stay over here. I can't do without you, Trev. I'm not gonna stay over here without my wife, Trev." I said, "Lord Jesus, what is not this Jesus?" So I said, I mean, I can leave. By this time, my sister is here. So I'm sizing up everything. Okay, my sister is here, so my sister can take care of my mom. Um, my daughter has finished nursing school, so she can take care of my mom. Kids are, you know. I said, all right. I agreed. Long story short, I agreed that I was going. I said, I mean, will I be able to get a job over there? It was like, yeah, man, you will get a job, man. You will get a job. I said, all right. So I went over there, left my job, and I went. Yeah. When I went over there, I did not have any problems. We did not have an argument. We did not have any problems at all when I went over there. We didn't have any problems. But Dion, yes, Dion, the answer is I fell for all the okie dokie. So please, y'all, don't ask me about what I fell for again, because the girl well fell for doggone well everything. So, guys, jeez. Yeah, I did. So I left my job and I went. All right. While we were there, I didn't have any problems. He tried to convince me that, I am, you are the best thing ever happened to me, Trev. And we didn't have any arguments. We didn't have any fuss, no problems at all. No problem. So we came back. We came back to the States. We came back to the States and he got an assignment to go to North Carolina. So, all right, we are going to North Carolina. Baby, I am not leaving you. Wherever I go, the kids are grown. Wherever I go, it's me and you. All right. Wherever you go, we go.
But hold on. I mean, we were making jokes at him earlier, but this guy seemed like he's the real deal. I mean, he's expressing love, doesn't he? I mean, I mean, he sounds scary. He sounds genuine. I okie doke. I mean, if somebody treat me like that, and no lie, he obviously, if he wanted the green card only, right, Trev, he could have got out of it. He didn't have to demand you after he got the green card. He could have just left.
Yes, but the thing you have to understand, he wanted the citizenship. He wanted to go into the military to get the citizenship without me. But he understand that when he went in and they sent him to Korea, he had to backtrack his plans.
Oh.
Because the circumstances he was in Korea was not suitable to him for an individual without his family. Because when you are deployed over there, if you have your family with you, you can live off post. So you are free to go around and do as you like.
Okay.
If you don't have your family, you have to live on post. Gates open a particular time, gates close a particular time, so you cannot just go and come as you please.
Okay. I got you.
There was a method to everything. Everything was all planned out. So I went over there, and that was his ticket to ensure that he could live off post and go and come as he pleased. But I
So
know that then.
there was a plan from the
Right.
beginning.
But I know that then. I just thought, oh, well, yes, he needed his wife, and I'm going to be the good wife. And yes, yeah. So then we came to North Carolina. And the funny thing, as he was trying to make sure that he had me right where he wanted me, he had always said that, Trev, once I can afford it, you give so much, you're always giving, What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that you get a brand new car. And he would always talk about that, how he's going to make sure I get a brand new car. And so I was excited. Yeah, not that I couldn't buy a brand new car for myself, but
Right.
that sounds like you appreciate the efforts I've made and all of that. So when I was coming back from Korea, he gave me this envelope, and he says, because I came back before he did. I came back before he did.
Right.
So he gave me this envelope. He said, Trev, don't open this envelope until you get to Miami. Me excited now, Me excited now is what in the envelope.
I want to know what it is.
Don't open it until you get to Miami.
I'm excited for the whole story, by the way. You had my full attention. So now I'm even more intrigued.
Yes. So when I got to Miami, I opened the envelope. And what do you think was in the envelope? It was a power of attorney and the paperwork for a brand new truck. Boy, I was so happy. I said, yes, he kept his promise.
True love.
George, I said, yes, he kept his promise. But because he wasn't going to be here to go pick it up, he had to get the power of attorney so I could go pick it up.
Right.
Right. So that's why there was a power of attorney in there with the paperwork for the truck. And boy, I was excited. So I went and I picked up the truck, and truck got plastic on it. It's got only 10 miles on it, all those things. So anyway, he comes back, and I'm still excited about the truck. Yeah. I think and he comes back and he's saying, things are good. Mark you, when we were in Korea, he got his citizenship because as soon as he went into the military, he filed for the citizenship. So he got citizenship 3 years after being in America. 3 years.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, he comes back and we talk about it, and I'm excited, and we're moving to North Carolina. Okay, I'm going to North Carolina with him. So we came to North Carolina. When we came to North Carolina, I started to observe and notice the behaviors and everything. And every time I would say something, it was, blown off. I was insecure, and I was, I'd find over the years, I've found different text messages and email messages of cheating and all of that. And it was always in my head. And I've spoken to women who have been with him, and he would bawl and go on the ground and go on his knees and bawl and say they are liars, and people don't want to see him succeed, and people are mad because he's with me, and people are mad, and everybody is mad because he's with me, and he don't care what they say, he's not leaving. And just making sure that I was in the place where he wanted me to be, mentally and physically. So as the time went on, we are here about less than a year after we came here. We decided that he was going to buy a house because we lived in military housing.
Right.
He's going to buy a house. He's in the military. He's going to use his VA loan.
Payment. Got the VA loan.
No down payment, right? No down payment. He's going to buy a house. Now, a year after we got married, I bought a house in Miami. So I put his name on that house because I didn't want him to feel like, because I am the one who is doing everything. I didn't want him to feel left out, like he was not a part of this. I didn't want to exclude him to say, well, I have no money in this, so I put your name on it. I didn't want to do that for him to feel.
Well, that's your husband now. That's your husband now. It's
Right.
not a guest in your house that you don't know.
Exactly anymore. Right. So, so we came here and he decided he was going to buy the house with no down payment from the VA loan. So we purchased the house and everything seemed okay. But a few months after we purchased the house, I realized just overwhelmingly, like, when things are happening over and over and you have collected all of this, it's almost like, wrap the red flags around my neck and run off with them. What there are just so many everywhere. Like, what am I doing with all this red flag? All of these red flags, what am I doing with them? So anyway, but I'm still there, like, I'm concerned, like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, what do I do? Where do I, what do I do? This is not where I want to be. This is not what's going on. Anyway, I kept playing the story. I just kept.
You deep. You in.
I just kept on because every time I said how I felt, George, it's because I was not because I haven't let go of past experiences. It's because I haven't let go. It's because I'm holding on to stuff and I am going to use the paint brushes of other people to paint him and I need to stop it and all of that. So every time I feel like, all right, Trev, all right, just calm down. Just leave it alone. The first time though, the very first time that it hit me really hard that this is a big old mistake you done made was in October of that same year. Because that October, military has a 4-day weekend. So that was Columbus weekend.
Right.
And he said to me early in the week, Trev, my cousin is trying to be a reggae artist and he's going to have a show down in Georgia. I'm going to go down and support him. Okay, I don't have a problem with you going to support him. When you going? He says, I'm going Thursday off. When I leave work Thursday, I'm going and I'm not coming back until Monday. I said, you going to support your cousin at show Thursday, you not come back till Monday? What kind of show is that? How many days? You're not the manager, you're not the promoter, what are you doing down there? And boy, the man ball and him carry on. And he says, when you go to Miami every month, go support your family, I don't give you problems, yada, 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 yada. So now this one time, I'm asking that I'm going to support my cousin. This one time, I hear all you're carrying on. And I said, all right. So I left it alone, George. I left it. And that Thursday, he went to work and he didn't come back. So later in the night, around midnight, close to midnight, he called me and he said, Trev, me good. Meaning he was wherever he was going to be.
Right.
So I said, okay. I said, all right, no problem. So I hung the phone up. He started quarreling about why you sound so. You see, I say you always do. Whenever me do anything, you always, and when you go to Miami, me not answer you so. And I said, it's okay, because I had my plan. So as soon as he hung up the phone, I started to use up my resources. And I found out the name of the woman, the address of the woman, the telephone number of the woman, and where he was. Not in Georgia, certainly, but in Alabama.
Not Alabama.
All the way in Alabama. Yes. And I was like, okay. So he's all the way in Alabama with this woman. All right. No problem. He called me. After that, he called me all of Friday. He called me all of Saturday. He called me all of Sunday. He called me Monday. I did not pick up the phone. No. What am I pick up the phone to say? What am I saying to you? Nothing to say to you. Enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy yourself. So Monday evening, he comes back. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm making dinner, and he comes in, and as he comes in, George, he's crying. He's crying.
I
Coming through the
I know that he's
door,
a baller. He's a crier. I get that part.
bawling.
Yeah.
Oh, Trev, you see how you're wicked? You see, me can't believe you're so wicked, Trev. Imagine me could have dead on the side of the road. I mean, I call you, answer the phone. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I could have dead on the side of the road, Trev. Me can't believe it. He crying.
Wow.
Him crying. And I am wicked and I'm cruel and he can't believe it. And I'm just there making dinner. I ain't paying no attention. I ain't paying him no mind. Why I'm not falling for this okie dokie? Because I know where he was. I have information now that he doesn't have, that he doesn't know that I have. So he bawled and he bawled and he bawled, George. And I don't pay him no mind. Keep on doing what I'm doing. Keep on doing what I'm doing. I ain't talking to him. We ain't talking. We ain't saying jack to each other. All he wants to do is tell me about what happened in Georgia. He wants to tell me about the show and how his cousin is going to be a big star and how his cousin made the show this and his cousin was all of that. When I looked on the cousin's profile on Facebook, the cousin was in Boston having a show that Friday night. And he told me he was in Georgia with the cousin while he was in Alabama and the cousin was in Boston.
So did you confront him? Did you confront him and share the information that you had?
Hold on, Judge. Hold on, Judge. So I didn't say anything. A couple of days later, he come back. He wants to tell me the story. He's busting at the seams to tell me the story about how his cousin is going to be this big star and all that went on in Georgia. I said, I do not want to hear. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me what your cousin is going to be and whatever. Then it changed to, oh, I don't like his family. So you know how they try to manipulate you and play with your mind? Yes, I don't like his family. That is why I go to support my cousin and you don't want to help me support my cousin and blah, 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 blah. But I know where he was, what he was, who he was with and all of that. So I say nothing. So about 2 Saturdays after that, here he comes again with the story. I'm like, will you just ease off of telling me this nonsense? Because I do not want to hear. I do not care. Where you were with your cousin, I don't care. Don't tell me about it because I do not want to hear.
So Trev, why couldn't you just tell him? I know.
Listen to me. I was holding that information because I wanted to see how long it was going to take him to confess. How long was it going to take him? Because I know where you were. I don't want to hear nothing about you being in Georgia because I know you weren't in Georgia. But until then, he didn't know I knew he wasn't in Georgia. But he's insisting on telling me this cockadoodle story about him being in Georgia. So each time you would come up with the story, I say, I don't want to hear. Because I know it's a mouthful of lies. I don't want to hear it. So that Saturday, when he started telling me the story, I said, I told you a million times, I don't want to hear your story. I do not want to hear it. And he got mad and he took up the vacuum and he slung it in the wall and he took off bawling. So okay. About an hour or so later, I heard Hornet County Police. Anybody home? Police. So the police was like all the way up into the house. So I went out and I'm like, who are you looking for? They were already calling my name. They were looking for me. So I said, yes, here I am. What's the problem, officer? The police said, we are here to investigate. Your husband made a report and said you threatened him. So I said, are you serious? They said, yes. So I said, I don't think my husband would do that. I said, no, I think you are mistaken. I think you have the wrong house. You do have the right name, but I think you have the wrong house because I don't think he would say that. And they insisted yes. So they called back to dispatch. The police said, let me call back to dispatch, see if he's still on the line, and so you can hear for yourself. So they called back to dispatch, told dispatch, is the caller still on the line? They said yes. They said, oh, we are here with the suspect. We are here with the suspect. Can we get the caller on the line to tell us what did she say when she threatened him and what weapon did she use? So the police asked him, and I could hear him in the background, I don't want no problems, officer. I just want somebody to talk to her. So the police officer said, talk to her about what? You said she threatened you. We are here to investigate that threat. What did she say when she threatened you, and what weapons did she use? And he said the same thing. I don't want no problems, officer. I just want somebody to talk to her. So the officers started talking to me, and they said, you know what? It looks like there are problems here. There are big problems here. I don't know what happened, but if he comes back and there's any problem, don't be afraid to call us. And they left.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yes.
So how did he get to that conclusion to say that you threatened him? Like he just made the whole stuff up?
Me not. He just made it up. He just made it up and told the police that I threatened him, but he couldn't follow through because he didn't have any information to tell them because he would have to prove it.
So okay, Trev, we go fast track a little bit. We have about 10 minutes left on the program, right, guys? Listen, Trev, this story here, this is a whole Netflix. It's a whole Netflix.
It is.
It is. I ain't gonna lie. It's a whole Netflix. When did you actually start to see, Trev, that this is all red flags? Red flags all the way through. When did you actually decide, you know what? I don't want a part of that. I gotta leave. I gotta be out of this.
George, I told you, I had been noticing red flags, but I tell you, every time I would talk about it, it was me. I was not freeing myself. I was burdening myself with past trauma. I was not, loosening up, and he wanted us to go back to counseling. I said, I ain't going back to no counseling with you because I know I do not have a problem.
Right.
I know I do not have a problem. I said, I have submitted myself as your wife. I have done everything that I believe that I was supposed to do, everything that I was capable of doing. I do not aggravate you. I do not bother you. And I don't think that I am the one who need counseling. You are the one who is always coming up short. So you need counseling, not me.
Right.
So
Trev,
you go to counseling.
if you had just done Ridealong in the beginning of this whole relationship, I would have done the whole show with this red in my background to indicate to you what really happened. Flag. This is the reddest you could get. Red all the way through.
I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to be mad at the people in the chat because it is the truth, guys. I mean, it is the truth. There were red flags everywhere, and it's almost like I was slinging with them red flags, like sailing on them. Like, I was using them to sail my boat.
Let me just open up the phone lines again really quick. A few people was calling and I had to reject the call because I didn't open up the phone lines yet. But let me try this again, guys. Let me open up the phone lines. You heard Trev from beginning, the whole series, right? The whole thing. Give me a call because I know Trev is not the only person that experienced something like that. I want you guys to talk to me a bit. 718-701-5720. That's my number right here. If you want to call on WhatsApp, you can do that as well. Or you can call straight on the phone lines again, 718-701-5720. A whole set of problems, a whole set of red flags, a whole set of things that she should have seen that she didn't see. And also, I want you guys to call with some advice or questions to Trev. 718-701-5720. That's my number. You could call in at any time. Phone lines are wide open. I was tempted to ask you a question. Okay, let me just take this call and then I'll ask you the question. Caller, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from the Bronx.
Bronx, New York. Go right ahead.
Yeah. I'm just saying to Trev, tell her, don't feel bad. That's life. What doesn't break you, it makes you. And I know it makes her stronger. So don't feel bad. She's not the fault. He's the problem. But you know, as time goes by, you will pay for it. That's how life goes. You learn from your mistake, and you move on.
Yeah.
So, sir, don't feel bad. That's a part of life. You have to have a test to share it with somebody, and her testimony will make somebody else stronger. So that's
Yes.
life. All right.
Yes.
Sir, take care. Be strong.
Thank you. Thank you, caller.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Han. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. Caller, your live, where you calling us from?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Turn your background down a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go right ahead.
Yes, hi. I'm calling from upstate New York.
Upstate New
To
York.
Trev, yes, to Trev. I'm glad she could laugh about it now, and it happens to the best of us. I mean, your story may be not my story, but some of the stuff you're saying, I went through similar stuff. So I'm just saying, I'm happy that she could move on and she can laugh about it now, and life goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Upstate. Do you guys have snow up there?
I live right further north of Poughkeepsie, so we had a little snow today, but it wasn't sticking.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank
Yes.
you. Be safe out there, all right?
Okay, you too. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. 718-701-5720. That's our number right here. Um, Trev, when you look back, they say hindsight is always 2020, right?
Always.
When you look back at everything, this whole scenario, this whole story, what would you say was one of your biggest, I hate to use mistake, because mistake, when you say mistake, is like lessons learned in this.
Listen, I have learned something that I never thought that I would have to learn, because I was always very trusting, and now I look at everybody with a side eye, and I even go back to myself and say, no, Trev, you can't use one brush and paint everybody. But everybody to me now is a potential scammer. Everybody, in one way or the other. You may not want a green card, you may just want a place to stay, you may just want something, whatever it is that you are asking me for, there's something behind it. And I have learned to say no. Somebody said in the chat earlier that some of us need to learn to know that no is a complete sentence. And I have learned that, because I usually don't say no.
Right.
Yes, especially when somebody's in need and they start crying, I usually fall for that okey doke. But
Yeah.
more, I don't care how they cry now. I don't care what
All
somebody.
right.
It's just like no. Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I get this caller on right now. Caller, you live. Where you calling us from?
Canada.
Canada. Go right ahead.
Yes, Trev. You dodged the bullet. I in a serious mess because my baby father, he's in a serious mess too. Trev, when a man destroy your life and you can't find the pieces to build it back, it's very, very hard. And when you have a child, for that man, it's very, very hard, Trev. Very, very hard. So, sweetheart, hold your head up. Be strong. Right now, I'm trying to be strong, but I'm very weak inside.
Oh,
Hey,
caller.
heart, darling, you will get stronger.
Thank you so much.
I
Yeah.
used to be rolling on the floor. I no longer do that. I can laugh about it, and I can read somebody say something ugly and just like brush it off now. It doesn't, time heals, and talking about it also heals.
Right.
Because before I was so embarrassed, I was so ashamed. I'm like, Jesus, Trev, you are supposed to know better. You are supposed to know better. How dare you allow yourself? And after a while, I just had to accept that, Trev, it happened. get over it. I mean, yeah, you did it. Don't make it happen again. It wouldn't happen again. It can't happen again. But I had to. It took me a while. And I understand that some people are still angry because they're like, Trev, you stupid. Oh, you make the man do yourself. Guys, don't be upset for me. Just look away. If there's a lesson in it for you or
Right.
and learn from it, because he's not the only one, and he may not need a green card anymore, but there are lots of other people out there who need other things, who are trying to use you right now. It may not be for a green card, but trust me, those users are out there, lots of them.
Yeah. And someone was asking the question, and we're gonna close on that one. The divorce. Who asked for the divorce, and how did that get finalized?
Okay, so he filed the divorce. I didn't really care. I just left it for him to sign the divorce, for him to file for the divorce, because after he had told that lie to the police and the police came, he started to make it a habit, which I did not know about until afterwards. So I'm going to get into this.
Right.
Pardon me, I'm going to tell you this piece, because some months after that, the police came to the house one night, and the police tells me that one of the cars that we owned was found on fire somewhere. Okay, so
Yes.
the police came to find out, if we know where the car was or whatever. He wasn't home. That was one of the days that he had cussed me out and told me he didn't want me anymore because he had gotten his green card and he was done with me and all of that. So he had cussed me out. Yeah, like, I'm done with you. I'm gonna get my green card. I could have even dead for y'all like here. The only reason why they asked if to marry me is because they want the green card. So, and the only conversation we're gonna have is if you take your things and come out of my house, because it's my house, it's my VA loan by it. So I should take my things and come out of my house. So I said, oh, you kidding me now? Because I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving. And I had given him the affidavit of support for his mother. He had filed for his mother now. And the man I got tell me, he must come out of the house because the mother say she now come in here, come live with me. So me to take my things and come up before my mother come from Jamaica. Yes. So I said, all right, we are in for something here because I'm not leaving. I am not coming out. And the only way you get me out, now that I realize it was all a plan, a plot, and a trick, why don't you all just pay me back my money? Pay me back my money, and then I will go. Pay me back the money I used to send you to school. Pay me back my money. I know you can't pay me back all of the money I've spent on you, but pay me back my money and let me go about my business. I'll just call it a loss and go. Me not pay you back nothing. Me ain't want no gun in your head. And go on and then carry on. And all right, I had to laugh. So that December, the car, the police came about the car, and I said, I don't know, because he wasn't there. He had told me that car was in the shop. So after the police left, I texted him and I said, the police was here asking about the Hyundai. What happened to the Hyundai? He called me right away and he was like, oh, that was quick. That was quick. What? Oh, don't worry about it. So he came home and he said, I said, what happened to the Hyundai? He said, oh, he went to a restaurant a mile from the house and somebody stole the Hyundai. He went to a restaurant a mile from the house and somebody stole the Hyundai. So so I was like, well, you gotta file a claim, you gotta do all of this. How come somebody? But I'm confused because we had 3 cars at the time. We had the truck that he had bought me, we had the Hyundai, and he had just bought an Audi. So he left the house driving the Audi because he told me the Hyundai was in the shop. And now you telling me that you went to a restaurant 1 mile from us and somebody stole the Hyundai and go set it on fire. So I said to him, so where was the Audi at this time? He said he left the Audi on post. On post meaning on base. on base is 12 miles away. So where was the this time? He picked it up from the shop earlier in the week, but he left it on post. So why you never bring it home? Oh, me can't one car, 2 car. Well, what you mean by you can't drive 2 car? You didn't call me to bring one home. You didn't ask one of your friends to bring one home. So what do you mean? Well, what do you know? Long story short, the man burned up the car, George.
The
man burned up the car. The man burned up the car. The man told the police, and me burn up the car because I tried to frame him, but he tell me I don't want the marriage anymore. Listen to how me I go find this out. Burn up the car. Listen to how me I go find this out. I found this out 3 years later. So now we divorced. The separation came about. The man just started cuss. Every day in the house is a tracing for me. But get tracing. Let me tell you, tracing, the worst, the ugliest, the dirtiest tracings. So I have to come out of my house because I feel veil one bite. I have to go back to Miami. All right. So I decided I'm not coming out. Everybody say, Trev, Mister, I'm not leaving. The only way I leave out of here is if the undertaker take me out. I'm not leaving. Not leaving. No, sir. And most of that stubbornness was because of shame. Cause remember saying now, after my family done warn me, and my friends and me turn my back on everybody, me shame now. I can't go talk to me. Oh, me I go tell them, say this is what is going on. Oh, me I go tell them. Can't tell them. Too shame. Somebody decides I'm not going back. I'm not leaving out of the house. Eventually him come, kick down the door one night. Tell me say I go bust something up in my head. Man always walk around the house with him gun in my waist and trying to intimidate me and all these things. So I'm kick down the door, threatening to put something up in my head if me not leave out of the house. And let me tell you something, George. I was the happiest woman that night. I was the happiest woman. I dashed out of the house with my phone and I called the police so fast. The police came and the police said, well, somebody have to leave. So I left. Which question Miss D want me to answer? So I left and went to a hotel. Called my attorney, and my attorney filed the restraining order. And the police came and put him out. So I got to come back. And then he went ahead and he filed restraining orders against me, and he filed that I abuse his child, I abuse him, and all of this. And lo and behold, after we are divorced, I got an email from him. He said he was having a counseling session for our daughter. So when I went to the counseling session, after I'm bawling a court and tell the judge, say, lie me I tell, and the pitner need no counseling, even though the child was right there when he kicked down the door, him bawl in the counseling session and tell the woman, say she mustn't listen to anything what me I say, because me a wicked and me a liar. And when the woman said to him, tell me what is it she has done to you that is causing you so much grief and pain? Because the man a bawl, me I tell you now, bawling. She said, tell me what she has done to you that's causing you so much grief and so much pain. Maybe we can start there. And the man tell the woman, say, we have 3 cars. And to show you how evil and how wicked she is, she burn up the Hyundai and tried to frame me because me tell her I don't want her. That was the first time I realized that it was him that burn up the Hyundai.
Oh, wow.
That was when I realized that, damn, Trev, the caller said I dodged a bullet. Trust me, I dodged more than a bullet. When I went to the police station the next day, I said, no, man, I got to go to the police and find out what happened with the car. When I went there, the police said, yes, that was what he told the police, George. that I burn up the car and try to frame him because him tell me no want me. But the police was smarter than him. So the police said they told him, when we went to your house, when we found the car, we spoke to her. Therefore, she could not be where the car was and be at home at the same time. So you
Right.
have to give us either a new suspect or you can cancel the claim. You know what I'm doing? Cancel the claim, cancel the investigation. Say I don't want them to investigate it anymore. And in North Carolina, once you own something fair and square, you can damage it, mash it up, broke it up, whatever you want to do. Nobody go and charge you for break up your own stuff. So the car belonged to him. He could have mashed it up, broke it up, burn it up, whatever. So that's what saved him. That's
Wow.
what saved him. So I ended up. So after I learned that, trust me, I have to go down on my knees and thank God for deliverance, because at this point we had already divorced and filed restraining order, put me out in the cold, George. This is the part of it. When I took him in, it was so cold. And when he put me out of this house, he filed a restraining order and put me out of the house in 13-degree weather. 13-degree weather in Fallon, North Carolina, and put me out on the street. And when we went to the courts, the judge said I should go home. Him not present no evidence. All him tell the judge, oh, me wicked and oh, I'm afraid of me. And so the judge looked right through that. You 100 and something story, and you are like 190 pounds. This woman is 130 pounds soaking wet. You afraid of this woman? I did not know, though, is that he had been calling the police over a period of time. He was setting the foundation to have a self-defense. I mean, he had wanted evidence of self-defense. So he was calling the police over a period of time and telling them that he was afraid of me. I was violent and he was scared of me. He was laying the foundation for something sinister, I believe. He was laying the foundation for something sinister.
You're right.
Because when the police pulled up,
go ahead.
When the police pulled up the record and showed, I was shocked. All the times that he had called the police and the police signed off everything as being frivolous. Everything is unfounded. The police ticked off everything as unfounded. He had called the police several times and told them he was afraid of me. I was violent. And that is why he was cussing me so much, because he wanted a fight. And that is why he was walking around the house with his gun exposed, because he wanted a fight. So if I was one of those violent people and attacked him, I wouldn't be here today. And he would have had the evidence. He would have said, well, you don't see much time I call the police, and the police not do nothing about it because them not believe me. And see that she was violent and she attacked me. When the police printed it up and showed it to me, I just dropped on my knees and bawled. Well, I said, God, you delivered me.
You literally, figuratively dodge the bullet. But there's a lesson in this whole entire story right here, you know. Because while we was talking, I got a message from someone who said that something similar with a family member with a boyfriend who set her up and almost got her killed. So it looks, it feels, it smells like a big setup. And it's definitely probably is. That's what it is. But you dodged the bullet because you are here now to share this story. But when you look at it, let's go back one last time because we have 2 minutes left on the program. We gotta rush. What is the biggest lesson? I have my idea as to what I think it is. But what's your biggest lesson learned in this whole entire drama here? Biggest lesson.
You can go down, but you got to come back up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how far down you go, you got to come back up. And
Yeah.
I am up and I am here and I am not going down again. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Trev, I gotta thank you for sharing this story here with
No
us.
problem.
And it so many different people are texting me and they saying they could relate, they understand, they went through something similar. Uh, um, in situations where they get involved, they got somebody from the islands to come here, and as soon as that process is finished, then they were either kicked out of the house or almost threatened or lost
Yes.
everything,
Lost
homeless.
everything. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people could relate to this story. And
Mm-hmm.
good that you are at the point right now that we could almost sit and almost laugh about it because you've
Yeah.
learned and you've gotten much stronger. So I know a lot of people would learn and is learning from your situation. Hindsight is always 2020. Hindsight is always 2020. But we're happy that you're in a better place now that you could actually talk about it. But Trev, thank you so much. Any closing words before we wrap up, Trev?
Okay, what I have to say to everybody, I know there are other people out there who are going through a similar situation, who have been through it. Listen, do not give up. For those of you who have never gone through it, take heed. Pay attention. Look and see the red flags that other people missed and do not miss them yourselves.
Yeah,
That's my word to you.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Trev, again, thank you so much. And we'll stay in touch.
You gotta be
All
proud
right. Anytime, my friend, no problem.
All right. Great, 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 great.
this time, son.
Wow.
I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer.
That was my sharing her story here, and I always say everyone have a story to tell. Trev had a whole story, and she shared it all. You know what I mean? It's difficult sometimes because oftentimes when people come on a platform like this, um, they often timid to share because of the intimidation. Social media is a very intimidating place. But she came and she bare it all for you guys. That should give people encouragement to share their story. Now, you don't always have to share your story on a platform like this. Talk to your friends, because you have to get to that point. And there's strength in numbers as well. And you might have a friend that you could confide in. Talk to your friend. And build a strength from your friends, and we as friends, and we have to be there for our friends when they confide information like this to us. So be a good friend. And again, everyone have a story to tell, and I'm happy that Trev told a story here today, and we have gotten about 7 different individuals who messaged me and got strength from Trev's story. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Thanks to our good friend, our mutual friend, Deanne Winter Funday, was also on the live as well. Attorney at law, Deanne Winter Funday, and everyone for sharing and being a part of our program today, guys. We went over time. We had 2 hours and some hour and 7 minutes over time, but it was for a good cause, though. Trevor got a chance to share a story. Let me do a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Don't move.
Get your PCR test in 30 minutes or less. Visit www.allprolab.com.
Grenada's newest political sensation, Dickon Mitchell, will be officially introduced to the diaspora virtually on December the 5th. Don't miss this special event to hear Dickon Mitchell's plans for involving all Grenadians overseas in the development of our country. Your ideas and suggestions for a better Grenada will also be welcomed in a question and answer session. It's Sunday, December the 5th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Grenada time. It'll be streaming live on NDC Facebook page, Zoom, and other social media platforms. You'll also get a chance to donate to help Dickon Mitchell do the groundwork towards building a better Grenada. This event is organized by the New York chapter of the National Democratic Congress and Grenadians for Dickon Mitchell in the Diaspora. Don't you dare miss it!
David Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-38.
Again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of our program. And also, we encourage everyone to subscribe to us on YouTube. Trev also has a YouTube channel, and we're going to share that as well in the comment section, so you could check out and contact for her over there, so you could check out her page. Also, we want to big up the folks at Unstoppable Media, a good friend over there, family, sister station over there, Unstoppable. You guys could check them out as well. All right. Catch you guys again tomorrow, guys. It's a very interesting program lineup for you tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Same place, same time. Peace out. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night.
Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion power. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion power. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard. I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God. Put my trust in God.